Hello, I'm Lindsay, BIRTHFIT founder and CEO, for those of you that don't know me yet. And I want to take a minute to talk about Shin box. So Shin box, where we make a box with the front leg and a box with the back leg, or a 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. You might have heard us say something like 90-90. This is useful for so many things. One, you can even just bring this leg in slightly, and this right here, where our spine is in neutral, or our neutral, whatever that looks like, and we're just breathing, diaphragm breathing in, expanding 360 degrees around from our rib cage. This is called a oblique sit, or high oblique sit, because we're up on our hand. If we were down like this would be a low oblique sit, but we're up like this. And this is one of the developmental milestones that we as humans go through. And from here, we can roll over and get into a crawling position, or that tabletop position. We can even do things in this position where we hold a kettlebell or a water bottle just to add a little bit of load and breathe here. Maybe we're sitting on the ground and we're holding baby and we gotta get up, so we do a slight lean forward, press into that front leg, and then we can bring this leg around and stand up from there. So you'll see this and variations of this throughout our programming. So what I want to dig into, and I'm going to switch sides because I've been sitting on that side for a while, is what you can do in this actual position. So Shin box, really good stuff for the hips, lower back, and pelvis. And sometimes just sitting here initially after birth is enough. And we just need to sit here and breathe. Make sure we're not predominantly chest breathing, making sure we're using that diaphragm breath, breathing in through our nose and out through our nose. And we start to gain, I don't want to say comfort, but we're getting familiar and we're trusting this position again. So in this position, I also want you to think about, okay, let's think about bringing activation, muscle awareness, just life back to these hip muscles. And so one thing I really love to do in this position is work on internal and external rotation of this back leg, and kind of same thing on the front leg. So we're gonna press into the ground with our back knee to initiate some internal rotation of this right hip here. So it'll look something like this. I take in a breath, create stability, lean a little bit forward, and now I'm trying to lift this back foot by driving that knee into the ground, and I'm thinking about turning or internally rotating all of this. This feels really tough, like it is not easy. And I'm gonna do this for about 15 seconds, breathing. Posture's kind of whatever in this because I'm really concentrating on this. And sometimes I'll even help my leg. And then I set it down and I relax and I catch my breath. And now we're gonna work on external rotation. So the foot stays, all the movement's coming from this booty. So I take in a breath and then I lift by squeezing or activating, or whatever you wanna call it, this booty meat back here. And it's all in the booty right there. And I only go as far as I can do confidently where it stays in that booty muscle. I can even push into my hand here to give a little resistance. I'm pushing that knee into my hand. And if I start to feel like my body, my torso, anything compensating, then I would lower, and maybe that's where you gotta pay really close attention. Maybe that's where the threshold is for you today. And then I would set it down and relax. All right, talking about the front leg, we're gonna pull ourselves toward the ground, and then we're gonna use this leg to push away. So what this looks like is I'm pulling, actively pulling myself toward the ground. And again, this is like 15 seconds or so. And you're gonna feel this almost like a pigeon stretch in this hip. So in that booty meat. Some people are a lot more flexible than me and they can go all the way to the ground, but this is not something to relax into. You're actively pulling yourself, your chest to that knee. It is not yin stretching, yin yoga. It's not resting. It should be active, and this should make you sweat. And then immediately when that 15 seconds or 20 seconds is up, I'm going to push this leg into the ground and slowly, 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 slowly push away. And you'll feel that booty meat activate in that left hip. And I feel shakes and everything in that. All right, so I'm gonna do the other side eventually, but that's what I want you to think about. One other thing, if there is any kind of maybe soreness or pubic bone pain, I need you to pay really close attention to, are you stabilizing up here when you move? And let's talk about this. So what this may look like, I'm gonna do a little shin box flow, and I'm getting ready. I'm gonna put my arms back here just for stability purposes. Excuse me. I'm gonna breathe in, stabilize. Now I gotta activate, externally rotating. This is stabilizing. This is going internal now. And we use that stability breath on that movement. Now that was super slow, super like toned down or de-intensified. I'm making up words maybe. Same thing. So now we gotta go back. I need this booty cheek to activate externally, this one to internally rotate. So I breathe in, stabilize, and now I need that stability breath to move. I'm squeezing here. I'm bracing here. Pushing in here, pushing out here. Whew. And we're basically retraining these movement patterns. Another thing I want you to think about, same thing, if we're doing a shin box to lunge to stand, I need you to brace. We're not putting any pressure down, we're going out. We're creating that stability out, 360 degrees. So you press down in that front leg, brace, lean forward, press into the earth, and rise. If this is too much space, bring it in, totally fine. Now, instead of left booty cheek in this situation stabilizing, when we go to that lunge, that's where the shift happens. So I really need you to stabilize. You most likely have to take another stability breath. And then now we've shifted stability over to this side. And so once we're in this position, you can kind of play with this. Sit back on that left leg. Now we're stabilizing on the left side. Then, okay, I pull forward using my hamstrings. That heel's in the ground, big toes driving into the ground, and I activate these hamstrings to pull me forward. I'm pulling on the ground here. And then lean forward and stand. I almost went out of the screen. So we're here, boom. This was the position before. You can even see like me active, all this is on, off, on. Like I'm pulling this towards me to stand. And then go back down. So, as you're doing this, pay attention to what you feel in your hips, in your booty, in your hamstrings, in your lower back, all that stuff. We're like retraining those motor patterns. Have fun.